Hi, this is Dana Childs again with Dealer and Fine Arts, and I'm going to try to just very quickly go over plein air art supplies and plein air painting. So there's a couple of different versions. This one's going to be more of the backpacker's version, but you can imagine, how to retrofit it for regular plein air, and I can kind of go through that with you along the way. It's kind of obvious, but anyhow, some of the stuff, is a little bit tougher to find than others, so I can kind of help you through where to find that and such. Okay, so obviously, palette. Having a palette on hand, a backpacker size palette's wonderful. It should be messy like this. If you clean your palette, shame on you. No, everyone has a different style. This happens to be mine. I use so many tertiary colors, or the colors that are in more of a neutral range, when I'm out painting nature, that this all gives me a head start towards muddy and tertiary anyway. So tertiary is there's primary, secondary, tertiary is that third level of colors. Basically anything with red, yellow, blue in it is tertiary, and it makes it more neutral. But this is kind of fun to have a little, makes you feel a little bit like an oil painter. I'm Van Gogh. No, I wish. I love him. It's amazing. Anyhow, so having this on hand is just really nice to have when you're out. And then I carry an extra squeeze of my favorite blue, one or two of my favorite blue, because we live really close to Lake Tahoe, and a lot of the trails I hike are around the lake, and a lot of the subject matter I paint is the lake. So I like to have a fresh load of my favorite blue to paint while I'm on site. That really, really helps. And they're real small tubes. I get the smaller tubes for that. Okay, and then a clipboard. So essentially, if you're out doing regular plein air as a watercolorist, you're going to be using a larger board with the clip, or whatever kind of board and clip system you have. I like doing it this way so that I can swivel, paint underneath if I feel like I need to, but it also helps keep it down. I'm not a paper taper. I'm just not, never have been. I like that the paper is kind of going to conform and make its own little, hills and valleys, and to me that's kind of fun, but sometimes it has made for a painting I'm less happy with. So it's all up to you. But if you are a paper taper, tape it ahead of time, and maybe take a small roll of tape with you so you can do more than one plein air topal sketch when you're out there. Topal sketch, that term refers to a watercolor sketch. So you're essentially doing an outdoor sketch with watercolors. And so that's where the term topal comes in. So if you're really having fun, you can grab your regular, your large square brush, and then your, one of your quill brushes if you want. But because you're working small, sometimes it's handy to bring some smaller brushes. And notice these are the cheap kind. A little story about that. So twice now, during episodes of hiking Half Dome or hiking up to the threshold of the cables and not being able to get up because of snow and weather and ice, I have put my paintbrushes at risk. That's kind of fun. Anyhow, I put my paintbrushes at risk once. This was last spring, exactly almost a year ago. Over $800 worth of brushes were stolen out of a food container, food locker. So that was very, very depressing, and that, I don't cry often, but that did it. That definitely did it for me. But about 20 years ago, you can tell I'm not good at this filming stuff yet because I'm doing a lot of this crap. About 20 years ago, I was hiking up the cables with my husband, and I had one of these babies. And this was when these quill brushes first came out, or that I had first ever noticed them, but they started to become popular. And I ordered it from China. It was $85. Now this is in 95, 96, 97, right in there. And the squirrel hair brush, every single hair is individually placed. That's why they were so expensive. They still are. I think this one was only like $60, but in today's prices. So brushes have actually gone down price-wise. But that's why sometimes when you're backpacking, what had happened is my pouch was slightly unzippered, probably because I was contemplating wearing gloves and trying to pull something out of the backpack. Got nervous because it's half dome and didn't think about it, didn't zipper up that back part where I keep my brushes, and someone behind me said, Miss, your brushes are falling out. Now, if you've ever been on the cables going up to half dome, you would know that you're not going to turn around and get those. They're about 1,000 feet away from you within seconds. So, and they're down a cliff. So you're not getting them. It's just a goner, unfortunately. So I was just glad I wasn't hitting people. They weren't hitting people on the way down, but people were noticing them, flying past them. So anyhow, it's not really that scary, but I'm afraid of heights, so it's an issue. But anyhow, so cheap brushes, that's my sales point on that. And it's a topo sketch. Probably not something you're going to sell. You're taking it back as sort of a value study and a topography sketch to the studio to finish it. And if your studio is your kitchen, call it your studio. I mean, that's what it is. You're painting there. Your painting place. Your happy place. Okay, another thing is you want to make sure that you have a water container, and if it's not chewed by your dog, I guess that's okay. But this makes it more exciting. Anyhow, you could use one small water container. I love those Talientes with the screw top lids, but mine are all missing. I don't know why. And those are great because you've got the lid that you flip over, and I put my clean clear water in the lid, and this is for my dirty water. Okay, so for water, what I do is, the wind blew it away. I just take a regular water jug, and I keep refilling the same water jug each time we go out. Obviously, you need water for yourself as well, so I take my trusty water bottle. I love the ones with the carabiners because they can go. I still wear a hip pack. Do not judge. They're awesome. Everyone I hike with, it's like so funny. They have all this like really, not, well, except you, Rita, but they have all this fancy equipment, although you do now too. And they're all, struggling. They got to take it off. They got, well, it's not like a striptease on the hiking trail, but anyhow, I just swivel my hip pack around and I get what I need and I swivel it back and I don't care. People can laugh at me, and guess what? It even gets worse. It says Harris on it. Because I bought it at a thrift store in Reno or Sparks, I don't know, 10 years ago. Works for me. I gotta save some money. I'm a starving artist, okay? So that, your sponges, I basically will take a smaller cut down sponge because this, it takes up a lot of space in your backpack. So just a smaller, cut and a quarter house sponge, half would be fine as well. This is the one thing I do not compromise on. What I might do is open it up before I leave the house and dump some water out so I only have a little bit. But I gotta have my Windex bottle with me. So that I usually take with me. And then, anytime I go hiking, I have to take my little hiking buddy, my girlfriend Karen. Do they not know I'm filming here? Call ahead to the airport. Bobby, don't let the planes go. I'm filming. Anyhow, now that that's not so noisy, this is my little hiking buddy. You guys can help me name it because I'm really, really, really bad at names. I named my son Eric. That was the last name I named, and I'm really glad I named him Eric. He's amazing. But I'm not good at names. I wrote for the newspaper for years, and they only accepted one of my headlines. I published, between newspapers and magazines, I published over 300 articles in my life. Not a lot for the span of a lifetime. One headline has ever been used. No, two. Someone used one a couple weeks ago, and I got in trouble because someone else didn't like that headline, but whatever. Anyhow, so this is my little monkey, and my girlfriend Karen Randall, who is on Facebook, and she's an amazing photographer, and she loves hiking. She's on one of the people on The Fat Lady Takes a Hike, which is a Facebook group I started. Anyhow, you got to take your hiking buddy with you, and Karen made him for me. a long time ago. So I take him with me and I take pictures of him on Half Dome. And no, I should have done that. Like where, you know, where you dangle and then the big monolith is in the background. It makes it look like he's standing on top. Anyhow, next time. Okay, so that's Plein Aire. Oh, shoot. There's one more. No, I don't know. Is it appropriate to share? All right, I'm going to do it. Okay, but this is majorly like important that you do not let it get out where I live, because it's such a rare item in today's world. But if you're backpacking, you kind of want to take it along. Happy painting and happy hiking.